Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope all of you are doing well. So in this video, I will be discussing about what is a literary theory. Previously, I discussed about what is a literary criticism. Now in this video, I will be discussing about what is a literary theory, including what is the difference between literary theory and literary criticism. So let's start. So literary theory consists of two words. One is literary and the second one is theory. So literary is related to literature, while theory is related to something that can be proven true after experimentation. So if we talk about literary is basically a literature. To define literature, there is no specific definition. Literature is a body of works in any language by some critics. For example, even the books of science and newspaper is also a literature. But here we talk about fiction. Literature may be called as reflection of life, society and culture. So novels, dramas, stories are the images and lenses you apply on it is called theory. For example, gender theory, feminism, Marxism, they can show you literary variation in the meaning of the text. There are many interpretations on the basis of literary theory. If you compare literary theory with the biology, so we can say that if your text is a frog, then literary theory is all about tools with the help of which we dissect the frog. So literary theory helps us to dissect the text. If some ideas were hidden in the text, you can find hidden ideas through literary theory. So literary theory is a lens, it is a filter, and it helps us to reach the depth of a text in a different manner. It also helps to explore different ideas, and it is a methodology to interpret the text. So how literary criticism turned into a literary theory is, as we know that literary criticism starts from Aristotle in the Grecian era, and then it moved towards Middle Ages, and in this we discuss about Sir Philip Sidney, John Dryden, and then suddenly it moved towards 19th century Matthew Arnold, and in the early 20th century we talk about T.S. Eliot as a critic, and gradually turns into 1910 where the actual theories start, like Russian formalism, new criticism, and many other, and so on and so forth. So as we know that literary criticism gradually turned into a literary theory, we opine about wedding, sports, movie and current affair. All of these are criticism. Talking about literature in general or and particular literary work, like Aristotle made criticism the former, while Matthew Arnold and T.S. Eliot made literature as the latter. They did the work later. Now in the theories, we must be careful about author-oriented approach, reader-oriented approach and text-oriented approach as well. Now what is in the author-oriented approach? So there is a time difference when the author communicates to the audience. The time gap creates difference. Even when the author is alive, the meaning may not be the same when it was written. So in the author-oriented approach, we must be careful about or we must be focusing on the biography, psychoanalytical background, social and historical background, and Marxist approach like new historicism, look at how the text is influenced by historical event, even when we do not think of it like power influencing the event or how it was affecting the author. So it was all about the biography and how the historical event affecting the author psyche and psychological aspects. So we discuss in the author-oriented approach. Now what we discuss in the text-oriented approach or the reader-oriented approach. Now in the text-oriented approach, we discussed about we start with the text, like formalist theory will come into play, focusing on the form. It is also known as time as new criticism or Russian formalism. Read the text to understand disregarding the historical relevance or background of the author, and just to study the aesthetics and semantics of the text. So in this we talk about the close reading of the text, some methodologies like genre study, narratology, structural study is also possible when going through the text. So in this text oriented approach, we just study or we just focus on the text. Now what is the reader oriented approach? So in the reader oriented approach, we focus on the audience. We just think about the needs of the reader. So if we focus on the audience, we think about the catharsis by Aristotle of the audience. So in this we talk about post-structuralism, as it was written by the death of author by death of the author by Ronald Barthes. He discuss about that how the author was died, and then we discuss about the audience and its importance in the text. So if we move further, we talk about different approaches that we will be discussing in the later videos, like the Russian formalism, new criticism, reader response theory, structuralism, post-structuralism, post-colonialism, feminism, and deconstruction. In the Russian formalism and new criticism, we just focus on the text and their form. In the reader response theory, we will be just focusing on the reader. In the structuralism and post-structuralism, we just focus on the structure of the text and how it is managed and balanced. In the post-colonialism, we talked about the time period after colonialism. In the feminism, we talk about 3 waves of feminism, and the deconstruction, it is simply the revolt against the structuralism. So if we talk about the difference between the literary criticism and literary theory, we talk about that the literary criticism is done by geniuses. So it cannot be done by the layperson. So literary theory can be done by the certified writer, famous author, or the poets, or any other genius who had that command. While the second difference is that only one literary work in the criticism can apply to only one work. Only one criticism can apply to only one literary work. So the third difference is that it is in the literary criticism, you can criticize the work of the author in the positive or the negative manner. While in the literary theory, it is done by the layman. Theory can be marked or given by a layman, for example, student or any other writer. And the second difference is that one theory can apply on many other texts as well. So, for example, Marxist approach is there, applying Marxism on the text and finding out the specific element relating to class conflict and exploitation of lower class. So, you can apply that Marxist theory on many other texts or many other novels as well. So the third difference is that find out hidden element of that theory in the text. As I previously discussed about the Marxist element, so we find out that element of bourgeois class or proletariat class in the text. So these are the three major differences in the difference between the literary criticism and literary theory. So you must be careful about it, and in the next video we will also be discussing about many other major theories like Russian formalism. So that's all from my side. If you have any queries, you can ask me in the comment section. Please like, subscribe and share my channel. Thank you for watching.